pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. President, I make that motion.
Mr. Quinn makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, show of hands. Motion carries. Citizen statements.
The district has not received any requests for citizens' participation per board policy BDDH.
Written communications.
The district has not received any written communications.
Military update.
Good evening. I'm Megan O'Donohue from Fort Leonard Wood. We had a few VIP visits in early February. On 1 February, we had Lieutenant General Beagle, Commanding General of the U.S. Army Combined Arms Center, the CAC, as we lovingly know it. This was his first visit to Fort Leonard Wood since he took command in October. And on the 15th, we had General Britos, Commanding General of TRADOC, or the Training and Doctoring Command, and this was also his visit to Fort Leonard Wood. And why this is important is because they are so highly impressed with not only Fort Leonard Wood, but also the communities both inside and outside the gate and what we all do together. And we were able to really showcase that. And General Britos met with a lot of leadership on and off the installation. And we love to showcase Fort Leonard Wood and the partnerships we have with the community. So I just wanted to put that out there and thank you all for what you do every day. I learned something this week, which I thought was really nice. You guys may already know this, but I thought I would put it out there. The Red Cross has a high school scholarship program that can be scheduled between July 1st of 2022 and the 30th of June for 2023. And for giving pints of blood equals money that goes towards a scholarship program. And the really neat thing about this is the school gets to select the student. So if you'd like that information, I will be sending that to Miss Marianne and she can get it out to everybody. So I thought that was a really cool program that the Red Cross puts on. We've got a couple of great events coming up to Fort Leonard Wood. On the 25th of February, this coming Saturday, we have the Kids Fishing Derby. This is a trout derby that is absolutely free to the little ones. It is at Stone Mill Springs, and it is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then you're going to go home, you're going to take a little rest, and you're going to come back to Fort Leonard Wood for World League Wrestling. We are so excited about this event. It is very popular. Tickets are going really fast. And it's a nice, safe environment to have these type of entertainment venues open to everyone, and this is open to the public. So you can get tickets at the Leisure Travel Office, or you can get them at the door at Davison Fitness Center. And then finally, on March 2nd, Fort Leonard Wood Leadership will be visiting local schools for Read Across America. And so we're very excited about that. That is one of their favorite days. They love to get out there and read in the schools. So we thank you for opening your doors and allowing our leadership to do that and our service members. And pending any of your questions, I will see you all Saturday with a fishing pole, then back for wrestling.
Any comments or questions? Rick, you were wrestling.
No.
Because I saw that on your Facebook page. District announcements.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I'd like to welcome our Waynesville Middle School staff here tonight. I'm looking forward to hearing more during the Spotlight on Education. The WHS Seer Department and Thespian Troupe 1669 will host a dinner theater at 6 p.m. this Friday, February 24th at the Waynesville High School Auditorium. They will perform By Zeus Olympus Next Hero. The cost for the dinner and the show is $7 per person. Tickets may be purchased in advance by clicking on the link on the district's Facebook page. The Waynesville JROTC program was re-accredited as a JROTC honor unit with distinction with a score of 97.8% following their recent inspection. And so we're super proud and impressed for our JROTC program. There will be no school during spring break, which will be held March 13th through 17th. On April 5th, we will participate in a statewide kickoff for Month of the Military Child in Jefferson City. On April 19th, we will celebrate Purple Up Day. We encourage you to wear purple on April 19th. And please mark your calendars for the Community Salute to Service, which will be held at 6 p.m. on May 10th at the Waynesville High School gym. During this event, we will recognize South Central Missouri High School seniors who are enlisting in a branch of the military, attending a college ROTC program, and/or have received an appointment to a military academy, and we are very honored to host this event again this year. We want to fill the bleachers and honor those that are signing up to serve our country. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. A motion to approve consent agenda items A through I.
Motion?
Mr. Rob makes a motion. I have a second.
Second that.
For Quinn, second. All in favor, show of hands. Motion carries. Student recognitions, WHS Varsity Halo Team, Dr. Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a new sport that our students are participating in. They are participating in esports, so we are very proud of our varsity Halo team. They recently participated in the Missouri Scholastic Esports State Championships and placed third. And their sponsors are Mr. Lambert and Mr. Brand from the high school, but we are so proud of them, and they're showing in their first state championship competition. So I'm going to call them up to receive certificates, and then we'll take a photo over here. First up, Mason Rodden. Carl Myers. Jacob Harless. And Joe Collier. Congratulations.
While they're taking a picture, I have to say, my garrison commander visited and the school and talked about esports and was so excited. We are attempting to try and mimic that on Fort Leonard Wood, but he is going to be so psyched. I'm going to tell him.
Waynesville Middle School Spotlight on Education, Mr. Vernon.
Good evening. I'm Rolinda Fitzsimmons, and I am the 8th grade reading teacher. Tonight, I have the privilege to honor Miss Julia Erst and Mrs. Edna Roberts for our Spotlight on Education. Ms. Erst is in her 5th year of teaching, working for the Waynesville R6 School District, teaching math at the 6th grade center and WMS. During her time at WMS, Ms. Erst has dedicated herself to inspire her students through high expectations and hard work. She is always looking for new ways to engage her students through her love of math and learning. Ms. Erst not only works well with her students, but also collaborates with teachers and other staff to provide the best learning environment possible for our students at WMS. She is an excellent resource and mentor to other staff members. She has been an amazing asset to our team, and we are all very thankful for all she does for the staff and students. Here are a few comments from her colleagues. Julia Erst is not only a friend to me, but an amazing coworker and teacher to her past and present students. Ms. Erst goes above and beyond to make engaging lessons, study guides, activities, and so many other things to ensure that her students are successful and get to grade level. She takes time to check in daily with her students, regardless of whether she knows they are struggling or not, to build relationships that are so crucial in the middle school years. Ms. Erst has done a fabulous job setting up Math 7 for success and always brings the best ideas to the table. She has never shied me away from when I am confused, need assistance, or just a laugh. She truly has a heart for all people, and I am so happy that she is a part of our family. And finally, Ms. Erst is a team player, dedicated to her students, and a hard worker. She goes out of her way to make sure that her grade level team, department, and students have the tools they need to be successful. She picks up the slack when others are unable and does all she can with an unwavering professionalism that is unparalleled. Ms. Julia Erst. And now I have the honor to introduce Mrs. Edna Roberts. This is Mrs. Roberts' 43rd year in the Waynesville School District, and she is continuing to go strong. Mrs. Roberts is dedicated to her work and always gives 110% in everything she does. She manages the main office, actually the entire school, better than anyone. As one colleague stated, she is the glue that holds us all together. Mrs. Roberts has a true passion for our students and the Waynesville School District. She is the face of our school and an inspiration to all students and staff to give their best and to be a Waynesville Tiger. Here are just a few of the comments from her colleagues. Miss Edna gives her heart to the middle school. She dedicates herself to the building each and every day and is caring to everyone. Edna's smile has been the staple in the office every day. She is patient with students, parents, and teachers. She is willing to help anyone who asks. I think she has a magical wand because she makes things happen that are simply not possible. Without Miss Edna, the middle school would be in chaos on a daily basis. She knows the intricate parts of all operations, and if it needs to be done, it gets done in lightning speed time. To sum up, Miss Roberts is a great leader at our Waynesville Middle School, and we are lucky to have her.
Thank you, Mr. President and Board. Now we're going to spotlight our collaborative team from the middle school. The WMS Collaborative Team Spotlight is awarded to our 7th grade ELA team. Please come up when I call your name. Ms. Shepard, Mr. Bansmer, Ms. Cramey, Dr. Brown, and Ms. Hunt. On the pretest for the standard read and comprehend informational text independently and proficiently, students started out at a 12.6% proficient and advanced at the beginning of the year. And on the second quarter post-test, they improved to a 72.3% proficient and advanced. This will also be a standard that will continue to be taught and assessed in the third and fourth quarter. The strategy used to teach the standard was closed reading and annotating the text. For this unit standard, the team worked together with the end in mind, collaborating on student data, striving to find ways to engage students deeper into the text, which translated into higher student achievement. The 7th grade ELA team is an excellent example for which others can emulate and establish a growth mindset with their students. Here are a few comments from their colleagues. ELA 7 is very collaborative and always tries new strategies, but also not afraid to stick tried and true teaching method. Hard workers who always put student needs first. As I have overheard some of their conversations during PLC, I'm impressed on how I hear them discuss test items, examples of student work, discussing student strengths, and how are they going to help them grow moving forward. They truly seem to value each other's input and opinions as well. The 7th grade ELA team is an excellent example of teamwork, using the professional learning community for student success and providing personal support for each and every team member. 7th grade ELA.
Remind me.
Congratulations. And I will say, Ms. Roberts has definitely not changed since I was in school. I remember the 1 or 2 times I had to go see the principal. I was more ashamed of myself for having her look at me like, now, Paul, you know better, than I ever was with Mr. Pattison. Congratulations again. Transportation Employee of the Month, Mr. Tronstad.
Good evening. This evening I'll be recognizing our February Employee of the Month tonight. Before I do, I would like to mention today is National Bus Driver and Bus Aid Appreciation Day. And I would like to publicly thank the drivers and aides that I get the privilege of working with daily that put student safety first. I've had the opportunity to fill in as a bus driver and aide over the years of working for transportation, and believe me, it is not easy. Not a day goes by that I take those in my department for granted. And on the way here, I was listening to a song, and the chorus said, "Best part of learning is to love where you're at." And I'm very thankful for the drivers and the aides that I get to spend the days with taking care of children. So, which leads me to our February Employee of the Month, Mr. Tim Hamilton. Some of our department refer to him as the legend. Mr. Tim has worked for our department as a driver since 2006, and anytime Tim's name is mentioned at work, some of the things that come to mind are dedication, sacrifice, consistency, kindness, friendship, and respect. He is the total package. He does it expecting nothing in return. He is here for the right reason, and I would like to thank him for choosing transportation to make a difference in children's lives. All I can say is wow. Thank you, Mr. Tim, for being you.
Congratulations. Community recognition, Dr. Goforth.
Thank you, Mr. President. This month, the district would like to recognize Brittany Claybaugh, Shelley Dendecker, Ryan Stook, and Caitlin Trapp, representing Infused Credit Union, for their continued support of Waynesville schools through their participation in the district's Rocking Chair Reader and Way Connect programs.
Thank you to Infuse for all your support and help. Move to discussion, construction projects update, Dr. Cobb.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll give you a quick update of where we're at with the Fema shelter at Freedom. This first picture is what the entrance will look like as you're coming around the backside of Freedom. To the right, there's where you'll see eventually where it'll be connected to the breezeway entry there on part of Freedom. And the front doors right there is where you come in will be kind of a secured vestibule area where the patrons will be able to come in to access the gym area. This is looking from the inside of that vestibule looking out. This will be blacktopped and it's allowed for some parking as well as additional outdoor classroom areas that Freedom will be able to use. And this would be as you're coming in, kind of looking into that front entrance as you're coming around the drive on the back, on the side of the building there. This is what it'll look like as you're pulling up to the building. And there's another view of the other side of the building. The playground is to your left as you're looking at it to where the current playground is now. That's another set of doors. There will be an exit and entry to get in. And then lastly, this is where the handicap parking lot will be, and additional parking as they come around. That'll all be blacktop area there, so you can kind of see to the right there is where the side of Freedom is, kind of where that retention pond area is, and that's where that entrance will come around as you enter into the shelter there. Any questions that you may have?
Dr. Cobb, what's our projected completion date for this project?
We are looking at right around probably end of August to beginning of September.
Okay.
Comments questions? Thank you, Dr. Cobb.
Yep.
College and career readiness update, Dr. Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight I'm going to present a brief update on our college and career readiness action steps and measures. In our district CSIP, we have 4 action steps related to college and career readiness. So, one of our action steps is for access to higher levels of rigor in coursework will be expanded in 6th through 12th grade. Our middle school offers a variety of advanced courses, and we offer 6 high school classes that our students can take at Waynesville Middle and earn high school credit for. And we've seen since 2021 to 2023, those have remained fairly level. This year we have 214 students earning high school credit. We've also implemented the AVID program, which while that's not a high school level course, it does work on college and career readiness skills, and we currently have 60 students enrolled. And then we also have 8th graders have an opportunity to take a junior leadership course at WCC, and we have 61 students enrolled in that. At the high school level, we've worked on continuing to offer and to expand upon our AP offerings, as well as dual credit, dual enrollment offerings. Our AP courses, after COVID hit, we saw a dip in our enrollments in AP courses. In 2021, we dropped to 289 enrollments. We are up to 453 this year, and that is due in a large part to our AP teachers recruiting students and our counselors really working with students to get them into those classes that are appropriate for them. And then we also offer pre-AP courses, and those are also, those pre-AP courses are through the College Board, and they have an official pre-AP courses, so we're offering those, and we have 376 enrollments in those this year, which has grown over the past few years. Additionally, we offer dual credit opportunities for our students. This year we have 166 enrollments in year-long dual credit courses, and then 221 enrollments in semester-long, which is an increase. We had 148 of those last year, so those are continuing to increase. We have also worked to expand career-embedded and internship opportunities for our high school students. We have career-embedded programs. Those are half-day programs that students can participate in. We have career-embedded medicine and healthcare, and we currently have 19 students in that. And then we have education professions introduction. That's actually a 1-hour course, and we have 15 students in that. Students who start in that class, which they can begin taking their sophomore year, can then transition into our OTC education program, which is a half-day setting for their junior and senior years, where they get opportunities to work in classrooms and earn college credit through OTC. And then our WayTech intern, they work on student devices from throughout the district, and so they get that hands-on experience on processing tickets and working on devices. We do offer OTC College Now half-day program. We currently have 12 students enrolled in that. And then we offer a variety of internships through Fort Leonard Wood that students can access when they're in grade 12. These are our enrollment numbers at our Career Center. We are a receiving district, so we have other districts that send students to our program. Currently, we have 791 students from Waynesville High School who participate in some level of programming at the Career Center. So that's about half of our high school that goes over to take at least one course. And then this last slide are our college and career readiness assessments. And so these are based on the graduation class. So for the class of 2022 that just left us, there were 314 students in that class, and they took a total of 427 assessments, be that the ACT, the SAT, the ACT WorkKeys, which is really Gives them some career, it really assesses them in a variety of career areas, but it gives them a credential that they can take to employers. And then also the ASVAB, which is the military entrance exam. And when they graduate, students for the most part will have taken at least one, if not two or three of these assessments. You will see a decrease from 2018 when we had 361 students take the ACT. That was the last year of when the state mandated that every junior take the ACT, so we offered it to every junior during the school day, and then those numbers have dropped. We have also seen a drop-off since the pandemic as colleges have changed some of their entrance requirements, and they're not requiring the ACT, that some students choose not to take that. So we at least want them to take one sort of exam that will give them insight onto some college and career preparedness, whether that's ACT, SAT, WorkKeys, or ASVAB. Are there any questions?
Comments or
you.
questions? All right, thank you, Dr. Atkins. 22-23 Parent Survey Overview, Mrs. Bills.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's my honor tonight to present on our parent survey results for this school year. First, I just want to start off by explaining something that looks a little different this year. Typically, when we look at our parent survey results, we compare over the last 3 years kind of how people answered the questions and where we were, what grew, what may have gone backwards. But we're entering a new cycle for MSEP 6, and so we adopted the new questions presented by DESE for our parent survey because we wanted to make sure we received all the points that were necessary for that portion. And so this year, it will just be our results for this year. So we won't have comparative data. It will just be the results of the survey for this year. In addition, I want to start familiarizing our public with the new MSEP 6 scoring. The main difference is in the past we would worked and strived to receive 100% of points. Under the new MSEP 6, it will be nearly impossible to receive 100%. And so I just think that's important to note as we move forward with this new cycle. And so districts will be scored on performance, which will be 70%. And one of the things I'd like to highlight here is that it will not just be, did we meet the target? Did we get our status points? They're also going to look at student growth. So that's a big change that we will be experiencing with MSEP 6. And then 30% will be continuous improvement. And part of that continuous improvement is how we do on our CSIP, which is our Comprehensive School Improvement Plan. And as we met as a CSIP team mid-year, we were reflecting on the fact that we don't talk about it as much as we should because the CSIP really guides all the work that we do with the district. And there are numerous stakeholders that participate with our CSIP. And so one of our goals is to start communicating more about our CSIP and the work that we're doing with our CSIP. So just a broad overview. Our Comprehensive School Improvement Plan, the board votes on it annually, and it's built of focus areas, SMART goals, strategies, and action steps. And there is information in our CSIP plan on how we arrived at these goals and action steps. And again, there's about 60 stakeholders that participate in our CSIP process, to include students. And we come to consensus on these focus areas and SMART goals, and then we work to develop strategies and action steps. And then as a CSIP team, we report to them on progress and of course to the Board of Education at mid-year, and then we meet again at the end of the year. So we touch base to make sure that we're making the progress we need on those areas, and then we take feedback and input from stakeholders on how we're doing or different ideas that they may have. Sometimes we adjust some focus areas or action steps. It just kind of depends on the information and the feedback we receive from the team. And then too, this drives, the district CSIP plan drives the work we do at the building level. And so all of our building level plans are based off of CSIP steps. And so it all aligns, and that way we're all kind of swimming in the same direction. And then I go around with directors or cabinet members to meet with our building level administration to ensure that we are making progress toward our BSIP, that we're doing things with fidelity, and so that's kind of how we monitor the work that we do as a district. So I'm going to go over these parent survey results. I'm not going to read them all to you. Some of you are like, thank you. But I will highlight a few things. All of this can be found on and will be linked on our district website. And so just our CSIP is on our district website. We are going to put on our website the mid-year CSIP presentation and feedback that we received. So those community members that are interested can go in and take a look. We're also working on a one-pager. The CSIP has many, many, many pages and can be a bit overwhelming. And so we're working to develop a one-pager where people that just want the broad overview can look at that and get an idea about our focus areas and what we're working on. But then those that are interested in more details will have access to those items as well. So for our parent survey results, we had 1,059 patrons take the survey. And again, there's a breakdown by building and the number. We are proud of the areas that we received 90% or higher that were favorable, which was agree or strongly agree. My child's school building is in good condition, which we are very proud of our facilities. I am comfortable talking to teachers at the school, and the school provides the technology, devices, connectivity, support necessary to promote student learning. So all of those were over 90%, which can be rare when doing parent surveys. So we are certainly proud of those. Next, we have the group that made 80% or higher, and always we're kind of looking at that 80% mark as a target to get responses favorable, 80% or higher. And so we had a good batch of questions there that were. Next, we have 70% or higher. Some examples, the school system assures student voices are heard and respected. Our team really went through and reviewed these items. There's some areas that we need to do a better job communicating about, and then as always, there's work to be done. So we won't shy away from that, and we'll continue to move the mark on that. And then lastly, we had some areas that were lower than 70%. And these are areas that we really work to get some more feedback on from our CSIP team members, and our areas that we will continue to reflect upon as administrative team. The first area was the school system provides school culture and climate data and reports periodically to all stakeholders. And so we had 52% agree or strongly agree, and then 30% said not applicable, which tells us we probably have a communication improvement area there, because we do provide that information to the Board of Education and at board meetings. However, I don't know that we do much with it after that, and so that's an area that we can definitely improve communication on. The school handles student discipline fairly, 65.44%. And then 12% not applicable. That's going to be a challenging one, but we're going to continue to work on that. There are programs available for birth through pre-kindergarten population. And so 29.46% said agreed or strongly agreed, and then 52.5% said not applicable. Well, we have programs, and so I don't know if it's a wording issue, or if it doesn't apply to them, they're just not going to mark that, but that's an area that we need to work on. I am asked for input about school decisions. That was an area that we received a lot of good input and ideas from our CSIP team. And we had some really engaged fathers this time that we all were really impressed with, and they gave us a lot of great suggestions. My child has been teased or bullied at school this year, 33.5%, and then 12.28% not applicable. So we certainly have work to be done there in that area. And so just to summarize kind of our next steps, we are going to really focus on bully education and prevention. Dr. Goforth is leading that charge for us. She's already started to get input from her advisory team and work with Marianne on communication. And so we will continue to work on that area and make sure that our staff and administrators are professionally developed in that area and know how to respond appropriately. Another focus area is providing opportunities for more parent input through a variety of means, and then to communicate about our CSIP plan more and student voice, because we do have we have some opportunities for student voice, so we need to share that with the community and then look for more opportunities to receive student voice. Many might not realize, but the Board of Education has a student leadership team that meets with them quarterly surrounding certain topics, and so that's just an example of an area that we could probably do a better job of communicating on. I meet with student leadership groups, and so that might be an area that we communicate on, and my cabinet team comes with me too on some of that. And then I know OPA just recently started doing some student groups and getting feedback about their menu items, and so those are some opportunities. In addition, I know there are opportunities at the building level for student voice to be heard through Leader and me, but we need to do a better job communicating about those things, but then also looking for additional opportunities. And I just want to thank everybody who took the survey. Please know that we do listen, we do review those things, and we do develop plans based off the input that we receive from the community. And so with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Comments or questions? Thank you, Ms. Bills.
Thank you.
Mid-year performance report, Dr. Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to give an update on our mid-year performance information. So there's a variety of different assessments, priority standards data, and things that we'll look at. These are the numbers that are really just the compilation that really represents the work that our teachers do every day in our classrooms and the learning that goes on with our students. And we use this information to make decisions in real time. When we look at state assessments, they always are just looking, they're kind of an end test, and you can't really adjust from them as you're working. This information is used weekly by our collaborative teams at the building level. Classroom teachers use this information daily in their classrooms as they make decisions about what interventions are important for students. And then as a district leadership team, we use this information to know where we need to go in and provide extra support or where we need to send people to see really good practices. So there's a lot of numbers here, but we really do use this to guide that work that we do on a daily basis. I am going to start with our district writing prompt. We administer this 3 times per year, and we administer this from kindergarten through 10th grade. And we're really looking at progress towards end-of-year standards, and so our goal at the end of the year is to be at 80%. Students are exposed to unfamiliar text, and then they're given a prompt and they're asked to respond to it. The first area is question, and in the area of question, 65% of students were proficient as compared to 45% at the beginning of the year. When we look year to year, we are slightly lower than where we were this time last year. Right now we're at 65.8. Last year we were at 68.1. But I do want to note that if we were to compare beginning of the year to mid-year progress, last year from beginning to middle of the year we progressed 18%. This year we've progressed 20%. So we started a little bit lower, but we've actually made more growth. Next is text evidence. This assesses a student's ability to respond to the prompt using specific and relevant text-based details. 60.3% of students were proficient in this area on prompt 2. At the beginning of the year, our writing prompt did not use a piece of text to respond to, so we do not have beginning of the year scores as comparison. And then this year, this shows our comparison to where we were last year at this time as well. well, actually it's a 4-year comparison. The last area is conventions, which looks at a student's use of grade level appropriate writing conventions. District-wide, 64% of students were proficient on prompt 2 as compared to 35.8% of students on prompt 1. This was 29% growth this year from beginning to middle of the year compared to last year where we had 22% growth in that same time period. Next, we're going to look at our standards proficiency. So we have identified priority standards in the district, and then we have common assessments district-wide to assess where students are on these standards. And this slide shows standards proficiency at the end of first semester as compared to the previous 3 years. In ELA, we do have some downward trends in a few grade levels. We did do some pacing adjustment, which makes it hard to compare from year to year exactly, but as we look week to week on the assessments that they're giving, we're starting to see that continued progress towards that 80% goal. In the area of math, we've placed quite a bit of focus on math again this year, and several grade levels have demonstrated increases in math performance as compared to last year. At the middle school level, increases in proficiency have been noted in most grade levels and content areas. We did mid-year do some adjustments on math pacing as well as looking at interventions to address some of the performance gaps that we saw when looking at some of those multi-year comparisons. And at the high school level, at the end of first semester, proficiency levels in social studies and science saw increases as compared to last year. And as we did at the middle school level, we've also adjusted pacing with math at the high school level and provided additional interventions. The last set of data that we're going to look at are STAR assessments. So these are nationally normed assessments, so they're given throughout the United States. One thing I want to note as we look on any of the slides that have percentage of students meeting benchmark, for national norming, STAR says students who are at the 40th percentile or higher are on level. We actually use the 50th percentile because it has a better correlation to some of the other assessments that we use. So I just want to note that. So our STAR Early Literacy Test is administered to kindergarten students. Overall, proficiency increased from 39% in the fall to 58% in the winter. And while down 6% from last year, again, our students started lower this year, so our growth has been similar to what we saw last year. And a couple of our buildings have shown some very strong growth. If we look at this, there is a benchmark score which says students, this is where students are meeting the on-grade level, and for kindergarten mid-year, that's a 730, and all of our buildings exceed that average scale score. And this other slide, which is a little tricky, shows where students, their average grade level equivalency at the beginning of kindergarten. So you can see overall at the district level, we were minus 0.2, so it was really at like a pre-K level. And you can see we started below kindergarten level, and at mid-year overall we were at a 0.6, where mid-year you would expect them to be at 0.5, so we were actually above a little bit. So we've actually made about 8 months growth in 5 months time at that, when you look at that at the district level. And so all buildings have shown at least a half year's growth. Next, I'm going to move into STAR Reading, and this assesses students in the area of reading, and all students in grades 1 through 10 are assessed. The percentage of students meeting the benchmark at each grade level ranged from 27 to 59%, and growth in the percentage of students meeting the benchmark was made in grades 1 through 5 and in grades 7 through 9 when compared to the fall administration. And as was the case with STAR Early Literacy, we're using that 50th percentile benchmark. This slide compares data from STAR Reading winter administration last year as compared to this year, and in several grade levels, the percentage of students meeting the benchmark was higher than where we were last year. And this slide breaks out the elementary buildings so you can see where each elementary building fell during that winter benchmark. And then this shows that scale score information. So you'll see the chart that shows the scale score required to meet the benchmark for each grade level in the winter as well. So then you see a chart of overall by each grade level, and then we also have the information for each elementary building. And the last slide in reading shows the average grade level equivalency, and grades 2 through 5 were on target as far as average grade level equivalency. Next is STAR Math, which assesses students in the area of math, and all students in grades 1 through 8 are assessed. The percentage of students meeting the benchmark at each grade level ranged from 40% to 82%. Growth was made from beginning of year to mid-year assessment in all grade levels. And this slide compares data from STAR Winter Administration, actually the past 2 years as compared with this year, and we continue to remain fairly flat in math. And this shows our breakout of students meeting the benchmark by building. Next, we have that scale score. In grades 1 through 6, the average scale score exceeded the benchmark cut score. In 8th grade was 2 points from meeting that cut score. And this chart shows the average grade level equivalency. Grades 1 through 6 and grade 8 exceeded or met their current grade level. So again, this information really guides the decisions that we're making on a daily basis about where we need to put interventions in, and they're really, to really guide that instruction, because we don't want to wait and say, well, let's just wait and see a few months where we're at, because then it's too late. So when we get this data, we pull our teams together and we act on it to adjust, because really, and just that reminder that this really represents that learning that goes on every day in our classrooms. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Dr. Atkins. Job descriptions, first reading, Dr. Goforth.
Thank you, Mr. President. The following attached proposed job description is presented for your review as a first reading. 2.23.1 Computer Tech, 4.11.1 High School Principal Secretary Bookkeeper, 2.22.6 Assistant Computer Tech, and 4.12.6 Information Systems Specialist Computer Technician. The administration will request approval at the regular March Board of Education meeting.
Comments or questions? Teacher evaluations, English learner, Dr. Goforth.
Thank you, Mr. President. The following attached teacher evaluation English language learner rubrics are presented for your review as a first reading. The administration will request approval at the regular March Board of Education meeting.
All right. Thank you. Student handbooks and discipline policies, Mrs. Long.
Thank you. Good evening. The following student handbooks and student discipline policies are presented for a first reading. These items were brought for approval at the regular March Board of Education meeting. JGR 1, JGR 2, JGR 3, handbooks for elementary, 6th grade center, middle school, the high school, career center, the adult handbook for the career center, the financial aid handbook for the career center, and Williams and Parker early childhood centers.
Comments, questions? Thank you. Move to action item, Waynesville High School course description book, Dr. Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Waynesville High School course description book was presented as a first reading in January. No new courses are being proposed for the upcoming year. Deletions are in red and updates are in blue. Additionally, icons have been added to the courses to denote if the course is an AP course, dual credit, weighted, EOC, or if it's NCAA approved. It really makes it more user-friendly when reading through that course description book. Administration requests approval of the Waynesville High School course description book as presented.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion to approve action item A?
I would make that motion.
Ms. Brown makes a motion. Do I have a second?
So moved.
Dr. Fulmer, all in favor, show of hands. Carries. Job description is Dr. Goforth.
Thank you, Mr. President. The following attached proposed job description is presented for your review as a second reading. 2.30.1 School Psych Examiner, 2.30.2 Educational Diagnostician, 5.01.3 Parent Educator. The The administration requests approval of the above job descriptions as presented.
Do I have any more comments or questions on that? Do I have a motion to approve action item B? Mr. Ponder makes a motion.
I'll be happy to make that motion, Mr. President.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Rouse, second. All in favor, show of hands. Motion carries. District T Highway Methodist Church Land Purchase Agreement. Dr. Cobb?
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration seeks approval of the T Highway Land Purchase Agreement between the Waynesville School District and the Waypoint United Methodist Church in the amount of $175,000.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion to approve action item C?
Motion.
Mr. Harns makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Quinn, second. All in favor, show of hands. Motion carries. High school sound system, Dr. Cobb.
Thank you, Mr. President. The administration seeks approval for the district to enter negotiation with Audio Acoustics, Morgan Music on the high school football sound equipment not to exceed $69,250.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion for action item D?
So moved.
Dr. Farmer makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Pondam, second. All in favor, show of hands. Motion carries. Closed session, closed record, closed vote is allowed by RSMO 610.021, Section 1, legal action. Section 3, hiring, firing, and discipline or promotion of employees. Section 13, individual personnel records, performance ratings. Do I have a motion to enter into closed session?
So moved.
Dr. Foreman makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
Mr. Rouse, second. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
We're in closed.